Long time no see. Well, I said a few days and it turned out to be a couple of weeks since we last saw each other, or you saw me, rather. But, again, if, for those who forgot, or maybe this is your first time watching, my name's Camerareadyornot, and I'm here to give you, not daily, but, as frequently as possible, updates to the world of sports and other exciting areas of news. So, let's start back where we left off, right? How about some basketball? NBA, and this past Thursday night's NBA draft. Well, as everyone pretty much expected, Blake Griffin of the University of Oklahoma, right? OU, well, of course, was the #1 pick to the Los Angeles Clippers, to maybe help out Baron Davis and Marcus Camby do some damage. #2 was Hashim Thaisbit from UConn, who the Memphis Grizzlies hope will be a dominated defensive presence inside the paint, rather than offensive. He's known mostly for his shot blocking and stoppage, so they're hoping that helps them a little bit in the middle. The Minnesota Timberwolves had back-to-back picks at 5 and 6, and went with 2 point guards. Spanish teen sensation Ricky Rubio and Johnny Flynn from Syracuse. A lot of people, including Timberwolves' own Kevin Love via Twitter, he loves that thing. They're kind of everyone's just kind of asking, what the hell were the Timberwolves thinking? Why would you take 2 point guards in a row, no less? And I think they took 3 total in the first round. So why do you need so many point guards for a team that has so many needs? But maybe they're going to trade one of these young men. People are saying maybe that's the reason why, or that's the only solution to this. Rubio, he's certainly, coveted by a lot of teams, including the New York Knicks already, where Donnie Walsh is already, inquiring about young Rubio. But, Minnesota doesn't need 2 point guards. Or do they? Word is that Rubio will stay in Spain for a few more years to play. That means that Flynn would be helping to run the offense in LA. Despite this, Minnesota management says that they were prepared for this and that they're willing to wait for Rubio for a year or 2. And he's a key piece in rebuilding this team into a championship team. So they know that's going to take a long time, not in the next year or 2. So they said that they're willing to wait. So whether or not that's what's going to happen remains to be seen. Rubio, some people are speculating that he actually will play next season. So we'll see what he decides to do and what, of course, the Minnesota Timberwolves decide to do. A couple other notables in the draft. NCAA scoring leader Stephen Curry of Davidson goes #7 to Golden State. Play in Europe instead of college player Brandon Jennings goes at #10 to Milwaukee. Jennings surprised Commissioner Stern and everyone else when he popped out of nowhere onto the stage after the 14th pick, after his agent said that he was not going to be at Madison Square Garden, in case he slipped down the board and, got a little embarrassed. So, but he was #10, so apparently that was good enough for him to dash out of whatever, dinner he was having with his family and make it over to MSG to accept his pick, draft pick. Okay, and who else? Let's see. Also, Tar Heels superstars Tyler Hansbrough and Ty Lawson went 13 and 18 to the Indiana Pacers and Minnesota Timberwolves again, respectively. Though Lawson will apparently be going to the Nuggets instead, after one of many deals that went on during the draft. Speaking of trades, there was a whirlwind of them before, during, and after the draft. And there were a few big ones to be noted as well. It looks like the big cactus will no longer be the big cactus. Instead, he'll be the big rock and roller, big sax man, the big whatever. I don't really have any. I heard those from somewhere. I wasn't smart enough to come up with those myself. We'll see what it comes up with. But anyways, it looks like Shaquille O'Neal will be headed to the Cleveland Cavaliers. Whether this results in a championship when he hooks up with LeBron James, whether Coach Mike Brown keeps his job, and whether King James sticks around in Cleveland remains to be seen. But my good old friend Tony Kornheiser from Pardon the Interruption thinks that championship is a must-win. They're obviously favorites now. They're up there. He thinks Coach Brown, see ya, and hello there, Pat Riley. Thinks Shaq is going to be instrumental in bringing over Pat Riley, especially if they lose. I think he said 10 of their first 30 games. And number 23, Kornheiser feels like he's leaving Cleveland either way after this season. He's either going to leave with a ring or disappointment in tow. So I actually hope he's wrong here. I hope LeBron sticks around after the season and surprises not only Tony but a lot of other people. Doesn't go to New York or LA or wherever else they think. Stay at home and work hard and win that championship there. I think he can do it. So hopefully he's patient, and if they win, I hope he really doesn't leave if they win. Just stay there. Make Cleveland a recognizable franchise like Jim Brown did with the Browns. I think that's more notable than going to New York and winning over there, but that's my opinion. The Suns seem like they're looking to completely start from scratch, as trade talks have been circling around Amari Stoudemire, of all people. It's crazy just how, a couple years ago even, everyone was talking about the Phoenix Suns. They were a championship contender. They were just a few games out of maybe even winning the championship title, the finals, having their own ring, and now they're, soon to be lottery picks. Everyone's gone. Sean Marion's gone. Amari Stoudemire, so many of these other instrumental players are all gone, and they're just, I guess, complete rebuild time now. So, oh, how the mighty have fallen, right? And poor Stevie. You can always come back home to Dallas, a Nash Nowitzki pick and roll back together again. Infamous, unstoppable. I think y'all should do it. Come back, Stevie, come back. Okay, that's just wishful thinking for me. But staying in the Southwest, the San Antonio Spurs have traded Kurt Thomas, I think there was some other guy, and longtime Spur Bruce Bowen, to the Milwaukee Bucks for Richard Jefferson. I don't know, there could have been like a draft pick and some cash in there too. I don't really remember, but the big part is Richard Jefferson is now a San Antonio Spur. That's the big news. So out of Milwaukee, maybe he'll get, on a kind of a high caliber Western Conference team. Maybe he can do something there. Well, it remains to be seen. I think the Spurs maybe need a little bit of a refresher. There's always a talk of them being old, and there's been a lot of injuries cropping up the last few seasons. So maybe he'll be able to perk up an ailing Spurs team. Though personally, I hope not, being a Dallas native and Dallas Mavericks fan. So obviously the Southwest Division rivals and state rivals. So I hope he doesn't help. That's just me. And finally, reigning Eastern Conference champions, or the Orlando Magic, swapped guards Rafer Alston, Courtney Lee, and Tony Battie for New Jersey's Vince Carter. The Magic gave up a budding backcourt in Alston and the young Lee for Carter in response to Hedo Turkoglu opting for free agency and turning down the previous offer by the Magic. Then Vincenti's like, he's an all-star. He can give you like 40 points any given night, but he's not the great passer or offensive facilitator that Hedo Turkoglu is. So, he works to get himself points, not his teammates. So, is that going to help or hurt